Andy, good evening to you. So what exactly did the PM tell you?
Claudia, Liza, I saw Boris Johnson this morning after he'd got the news about the two by-election defeats, but also when he just received the news about the resignation of Oliver Dowden, his party chairman. I believe his team and he were expecting the defeat. They were not expecting that resignation. So when I spoke to Boris Johnson, I asked him if, after those blows he'd received this morning, he was thinking of resigning.
Look, I first of all want to say a big thank you to Oliver Dowden because he's just decided to step down as party chairman. I think he did an outstanding job when he was, particularly when he was culture secretary.
He says someone has to take responsibility. He's taking responsibility. Are you?
Yeah, of course I take responsibility, but I think that it's the way to do that is to listen to what people are saying. And I think the number one issue for people in this country right now is the cost of living, the economic problems that they're facing, and what they have is a government that's listening to those issues and addressing them. That's what we're going to do.
But that's what you've been saying for some time, and yet the results from these by-elections show that people are not impressed by that, and they've rejected the Conservative Party and they've rejected you.
Yeah, look, of course I understand the message that people are giving, but it is not the job of government or of me to simply to fold when things get tough, and I know things are tough for people.
Isn't the point, though, Prime Minister, that people are prepared to be led by someone through difficult times if they have faith and they have trust in that person? The public are losing trust in you. Isn't that the case? Isn't that the verdict of this by-election?
That's what you say. We're going to listen to the lesson of the by-elections and reflect, but we're going to get on with taking the country forward, taking the tough decisions that this government has always done.
But doesn't it come back? You can have all the plans you like. If the man at the top is the problem, then how do you get past that? Well, and for a lot of people, your integrity remains a problem. It was fine that there were some doubts about that when you were winning, but you're not winning anymore. So that becomes a problem for you. What are you going to do about your personal integrity?
What I'm going to do is, of course, listen to the lessons of the by-elections, but I think any government that decided to fold as a result of mid-term defeats in by-elections would be very, very eccentric.
You say you're going to learn the lessons from the by-elections. It sounds like you're not really learning any lessons from these by-election results. You're just continuing in what you were doing before.
Yeah, because we've got to get on, and we've got to focus on the economic issues that I think are dominant right now. And you've offered an awful lot of things that I think would be a distraction from that.
Talking about the man at the top running the government is not a distraction.
No, of course, you're perfectly entitled to do that. But I'm also entitled to get on with our agenda, change and improvement, reform, but also helping to cut them. What is the number one bill that people face? It's taxation. And so what we need is a strong, growing economy where in a good time, in a sensible and reasonable way, we can bear down on that as well.
But
don't forget, in July, which is not far off, we've got tax cuts for everybody paying a national insurance of an average of £330. And you're going to say I'm repeating the same old stuff. There's a reason for repeating it, is that sometimes, Andy, I just feel that maybe the media don't let me say it often enough, and it just needs to be said.
One final question, Prime Minister. When those results came through and Oliver Dowden quit, was there a moment when you thought the game's up?
No, of course not, because the job of the government and the job of any Prime Minister in difficult times is to keep going in and keep delivering. And, I just get back to this fundamental point. I think politicians go wrong when we all go wrong as politicians when we allow ourselves to be diverted and distracted into conversations about Westminster politics and the implications of this or that event for this or that personality, when what we should be focusing on is what we're doing to change things for the better.
Prime Minister, thanks very much.
Thank you.
So Andy, you asked Boris Johnson if the game is up. He said no, but how much trouble is the Prime Minister in?
The phrase you hear continually about these by-elections is that the defeat was priced in. In other words, that the Conservatives were expecting that to happen. They were not expecting that resignation. That is the big danger for Boris Johnson now, that members of his team start peeling away. He is still in there fighting, but the questions about his leadership will not go away.
Andy, from Kigali, thank you.